Hey, I'm here. I'm back. I'm still alive. Whatever. I hate my voice, but it's the only one I got. So unfortunately, you gotta deal with it, or not. No, I don't care. Um, well, anyway, so yeah, I'm here. I'm a little hyped up right now. I don't know why, but I realize that it's been over a week since last update. So before the gummies kick in, and yes, these are reliable for knocking me out after about 20 minutes or so. So I'm kind of on a timer now. So anyway, um, yeah, yeah, swallow those whole. Um, yeah, so it is now Monday morning. Um, well, we're on, was it June 16th now? One day past Father's Day, 2 days past that god awful parade bullshit. Thank God that's over. And yeah, I just had my first night back at work. That was a hellacious experience in itself. Never want to go back and do that again. Sadly, I have to because, well, I gotta make money somehow. Did they really misalign this label that badly? Shit. Brand new lip chapstick, and yeah, they got the label, so I can't even twist the twisty part. Well, I guess we're doing it that way then. Mint chocolate chip. One of those seasonal multi packs I picked up like last fall or something. Maybe it was over the winter. I don't know. It was like Valentine's Day or something. I don't know. I don't know. I've had sitting around for a long time. I'd crack open a new one. And yeah, well, it smells like chocolate chip ice cream. So that's always a good sign. Um, anyway, I did try to do a update last week. Unfortunately, I was so tired. I got maybe 15 minutes into it. I started falling asleep. Um, yeah, the video I did then, I was lamenting some issues with my family from way back when, and I wound up getting so tired. I just laid down right here, passed out for a little bit. I got a great shot of my ass for like 3 or 4 minutes at a time, but that's not why I do videos. I do them because I'm just trying to chronicle my life, my days, and hopefully at least see some kind of improvement in my vocal communication skills and my voice control. Neither of which seem to be working. Um, but yeah. So yeah, it's been yeah. I really actually did have a purpose behind this when I first put the camera in the holder thing and it hit record. Kind of forgetting what it was now at this point, but I think I kind of have a faint memory of it. So, funny thing happened to me yesterday. Um, you know how I work nights, so I sleep days. But anyway, yesterday I had this dream, and it was just this convoluted, disjointed. Nothing really made any sense, but it just kept going on and on and on and on and on. And I can't even recall exactly how things connected together. Just remember there's a part where I was like stranded in like a lake like a lakefront property home. Um, couldn't leave because there was a giant sand pit where the road should have been, and there was no way that you could drive a car through that because the sand was so deep and so fine, and it would just suck it right in. So I was stranded there, and all I had to communicate was an old Nokia cell phone from like the early 2000s. Not even the flip phone. I'm talking about um, is one of these little tiny handsets, basic talk and text. That was it. And I was freaking out because because Trish was not here. Was not with me. She was still here at home, and I had no way of reaching out to tell anyone that I need someone to care for her while I'm trapped here for the next month or two. I couldn't do it. I had no way. And we just kind of skipped forward to a point where I don't know. I'm here, and someone I used to know was in need of a place to crash for like a few hours, and I tried offering, and they're very adamant in refusing, and I don't know, that whole thing was just weird. Yeah, there was a part where I was like, I'm not sure what kind of building it was, but we were uh, we were studying like diseases in animals, and somehow some of them escaped and made a big, started a giant panic. And oh yeah. Before that, there was a part where I was trying to figure out how to get out of a driveway, right? Probably related to that first part, but yeah, so I was like trying to get down a driveway, but I had to back out, and someone kept pulling their vehicle in my path, like it was one of those driveways that kind of forked off a little bit to a couple different spots. And no matter which way I chose, this person was always backing their vehicle to block off my access to the road from that exit. I tried like 3 or 4 times, and just every time. Um, yeah. Then we got to that part about that weird building with the animals, and it seemed like it was like a college environment of some kind. I'm not really sure, but the whole thing concludes where they evacuate the building, and I'm at this point. I'm talking to some people. I don't know who they were exactly, but they knew about me. But I was kind of like, okay, you know what? Let's just play along and see if other strangers on the street like don't catch on. So we all just went out, and anyway, no, I'm just out there with this group of random friends. I have no idea who the hell they actually were, but they were friends in the dream, so apparently. And I'm approached by some dude. Apparently, we knew each other casually, and I just had this weird interaction where which is something very very rare happened in this in this interaction, in which I actually spoke. And the funny thing about that was, I actually spoke in a clear, um, cheery, you know, unmistakably feminine voice. Like it was nothing like what you're hearing right now. And this voice absolutely sucks ass. I know it does. I know it sounds too masculine. I fucking hate it. But this voice that I had in the dream was just ideal. Like, okay, this is totally fucking awesome. But yeah, it was just it was a simple greeting, but it sounded the but the sound was perfect. And the awkward part about the interaction was, for whatever reason, he stuck his hand out. Like, okay, let me shake your hand or what? No, that would be like get too like yeah. That's just weird. That's not something you would do in this situation. So I improvised. I'm like, okay, what do I do here? I'm like, fist bump. And once you know it, that's when the alarm went off, and I woke up. So so make sense of that how you will. I don't know. It's a dream. Yes, I don't know what the fuck any of it means, but it's what I had. Maybe it's possible that that whole thing with the voice was you know, me pushing forward to more fully accept myself as I am. I don't know, but who the fuck knows? I mean, I am just a mentally deficient abomination who's turned their back on God apparently, and giving God the finger and told God that he totally fucked everything up. I mean, if you listen to some people with the way they talk, that's probably what they think. I don't know. I don't see it that way, but you know what? Fuck it all. I don't give a shit. Whatever happens between me and the Almighty, well, that's between us. That's nobody else's business. Um, but yeah, so fun dream, fun interaction, I guess. Just very convoluted, like I said. I didn't know most of the people in this dream, but apparently I had friends. Oh shit. Yeah, I had friends. No, but no, seriously. I've been a little wound up today. Not so much because of that, but I've been overthinking, overanalyzing things on my mind, and I just kind of hit one of those lows recently where I'm like, you know, what's the point of everything that I'm doing? I mean, I talk about how I like to, or I've been trying to at least finish the first draft of a book series. Um, it's been slow. It's been very slow progress because it takes so much for me to get into the right headspace to write. And even then, I'm not guaranteed to make anything worthwhile. Well, the thing is, I do on occasion post about the progress I've made or haven't made, or just little quips about about the experience of getting into the creative headspace, or just jokingly sharing my haphazard layout of notes and scrap paper and everything. Yeah, that's the thing is I was doing things on a paper first. I'm kind of a purist that way, I guess. Do it on paper first, write it down with pen and paper, and then I transcribe everything over to computer. But I share these things, and I even share little tidbits about the characters, and I mean I've to this day none of the content that I've shared about my personal Facebook account has garnered any interactions, not from family, not from friends, not from casual acquaintances. It's like I share and no one reacts to any of it. I mean, I might as well now. I might as well not even be writing this shit. And well, there are a lot of days where I feel like maybe I should just give it all up, burn the pages, delete the text files, and just say fuck it. This whole project was a waste of time from the start. I mean, I started off writing it for myself as kind of a pet project, just to kill time, but eventually it became its own thing that I wanted to see through to the end. But if I got no one there, even offering the smallest iota of, of encouragement or interest, it's like, what purpose do I have in continuing on? In all the times that I've tried sharing about it, I've tried even sharing excerpts from it, and honestly, I've had one reaction, one interaction with any of that, and it was some dude saying that he hated it. I mean, I shared a part of the story that I thought had been pretty well written overall. Needed a lot of tweaking still because I wasn't really fully in sync with the characters at that point. But there's just one. From everything that I've shared, I had one person leave feedback or interact with the post at all. And this was something that I shared across Facebook, I shared across my old personal blog, and not a single family member left any feedback on it. No no interactions from family, no or friends. It's just okay. You didn't read it. You didn't. It didn't interest you. You didn't give a shit. And me, I guess when you got in excess of I keep the friends list small on account of who I am. So I mean, I don't even have a friend count of 75 right now in my Facebook account. But anyway, you still think that especially when I have I have a number of friends on there that are self-proclaimed, you know, book nuts or even teachers, or I've even got one that is a professional author herself, and none of them ever bother to leave any you know not even a like on a post where I talk about these things in in the process I'm going through or anything. It's just like, okay, well, if even the bibliophiles out there in my context list are so disinterested, where's my motivation to keep going? And I did not realize I got so dark on the camera. Whoops. Let me fix that. Let's, okay. I am so sorry about that. What happens when I don't actually look at the camera? Because my eyes are tired. But yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like I hit a wall there at some point, and I wonder, why do I keep going? It's like all the energy I've wasted, and then it, it kind of went along with a core memory that I remembered last night too, where just think about my failed creative endeavors, and there was this one that from way back when I was a kid. I mean, we're talking like, I'm not sure if I was like maybe 7 years old at the time, maybe 8. But anyway, so this was back in the mid late '80s, right? And Super Mario Brothers, that was that was still brand new. That was the OG. That was something to really take inspiration from. Well, my family sucked. Nintendo, that wasn't a thing that we could afford in our house. I mean, we were lucky to have the Atari 2600 at that point. You know. But I mean, so we couldn't have Nintendo. So my brother and I actually got this idea to we'll just draw our own. And yeah, sure, we did borrow a lot of assets from the Mario games. I don't remember exactly what all we did, but we did spend quite a few Friday nights working on you know mapping out levels and taping them together. And I mean, this was like like 8 by 11 sheets of paper or whatever they were. And we would just take it scene by scene by scene by scene, tape it all together, and attach it at the one end to a Pringles can, right? Just tape it all together. And the concept that we had was that when we finished it, you'd be able to take like a little Lego guy on a stick and do the the terrain and the enemies and whatever. But well, we never actually got to finish it, right? Because and this I recall very clearly was one afternoon. I'm in the kitchen. I'm not sure if I was already there, if I just wandered in, but Dad was standing there with that Pringles can wrapped up with all that paper, and he just says, looks straight at me. He says, "This is what I think of your video game." Throws it in the garbage. I mean, way to way to crush your youngest kid's creative imagination and creative ambitions. It's like, okay, so what you're telling me is that don't create anything because you don't approve. So I don't know how much of an impact that actually had on me, in the overall scheme of things, but it's one of those things that I do remember because it was a lot of work that not just me but my brother also put into it. And Dad just decided that he didn't like it, so in the garbage it went. I don't know if one of us left it out or if he went searching for it and then I found it in one of our bedrooms. I don't know, but yeah, he just we hadn't even fully finished it yet, but he just took all that work that we did and threw it in the trash. So, and it got me thinking more. I just with it being Father's Day over the weekend, I guess kind of fitting that I would think about him a little bit more. And honestly, I'm not sure I can remember any real good interactions I had with him. I mean, I think I think the bulk of it would be neutral interactions. Maybe a few events that were okay, like the baseball games that we actually did get to attend when on those rare blue moon days from like ages of 11 to 13. I think we attended 3 games in 3 summers. So yay! And that was back when the Minnesota Twins afternoon game tickets were like $3 a pop. You get into the nosebleed section. So, but yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, just I don't know. I consider that, and God, there's something else I was just thinking about. Now it slipped away again. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess the other shit all over your kids' hopes and ambitions interaction that I had with that strains of mine was back in my junior year of high school. Right, and this was beginning of the school year. I had just started to hang out with a brand new group of not yet friends, but getting to be friends. It was a thing where for all those years I did not go to a single school function, right? Because we lived out in the fucking boonies. I mean, it was a small town as it was, but for me to go from home to school, that was a 25-mile drive one way, and that's straight highways. That's no stopping. So on a good day, you could make it from home to school in half an hour on just straight driving. Now, when the junior year came around, there was someone that I knew. She decided while we were sitting in classes, so it was about 3 weeks into the new year, and she's sitting behind me in was it history class, and shock of all shocks, she decides to ask me to the homecoming dance. It's like, okay, I've never been to a school function before, so I was like, you know what, sure, why not? Um, Unfortunately, I still had to get parental permission because going out on a Friday night, and my parents sucked, as I've said before. So I went home that evening, brought it up, and instead of just leaning in with a yes or no answer, Dad decides to lay a guilt trip on me for daring to ask, and it went a little something like he starts bitching about how he never got to do any of that when he was a kid, but it's like, oh, I never got to do any of that when I was a kid, but go ahead, just like using this tone is just totally lay it on me that I should feel bad for getting to experience something that he didn't. I mean, I'm sorry, but yes, he grew up in the 1940s. He was born in back in 41. He was a dirt poor farmer's son. So yeah, money wasn't a thing, and they had a lot of hard days. But to put that on your own kid, you know, 50 plus years later, it's like, the fuck are you doing here, guy? But anyway, turns out that I won the Verified Astronaut because they they hadn't yet told me that they were going to be out of town for the week anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. When the Verified Astronaut, they wouldn't have known. But yeah, the more I think about things and really try to dissect the interactions I've had with my both parents actually, in all the time growing up and the years after, I'm just like, you know what? I think I might actually hate my parents. I know, big shocker, right? I mean, I've been thinking about the the lack of encouragement that I've received throughout my life, and my therapist, the second one I talked to a couple years ago, you know, out of our one session that we had together, for me to get my second letter of approval, he did a deep dive into my psyche and my history and everything, and he had a word for me that summed up my upbringing, and that was emotionally starved. That's a term I'd never heard before, but looking back, it totally fit, and a lot of that has to do with this whole thing where nothing that you ever did was good enough for them. And I was like, okay, if you want, if you get you know A's and B's on your report card, no, that's not good enough. You should have gotten all A's. Why didn't you get all A's? Oh, you need help? Well, figure it out yourself. I mean, it got to the point where I stopped trying in school, and no, they never paid attention to it because I still kept up the same grades. But just anytime I got good grades, it was just, oh, well, I might get a, oh, that's nice, but majority of the time it was just dead silence. It's like, okay, well, so you're offering me absolutely no encouragement, no positive reinforcement, none of that. It's just, if I don't do it, then you make a snide comment. And when I do something that most people don't, it's expected. It's like, how have I been doing this? I don't want to ramble on too long, but it is, oh wow, half an hour already. Good God, I can complain a lot. I got that from my mom. She is a world-class bitcher. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. But yeah, I was thinking on just too much over the past few days. The lack of positive reinforcement, the lack of really any acknowledgement when you do well growing up. It's like you kind of just lose that drive to do your best because well, who's gonna know us? Who's gonna give a shit? If even the the life bringers that forced you into this world aren't gonna even raise an eyebrow. It's like, well, do I really have a motivation here? And sure, you want to say talk about self motivation. Well, I was burned out. I mean, by the time I finished high school, I was completely burned out, and I had no further motivation to keep going in furthering my education. Because I knew I was going to struggle with it. I wasn't going to have anybody in my corner, cheering me on or anything. So I just took the easy way out. I applied for a nothing program in the local tech school. Never enrolled, but I was approved. I was accepted. But anyway, I'm gonna stop this here because I've gone totally off the rails. And I'm gonna go to bed now because gummies are kicking in. I do need to talk about the whole streaming thing later on. God, I hope I don't forget between now and then. I don't have anything to write with now. Basically, I've got ideas, but I have more ideas than I have money right now. Especially with a dental visit coming up in 3 days. Yeah, I went to the dentist. What was it, a week before last? And they found cavities. 3 of them. Granted, they say that all 3 of them are small, just starting out, but still, the fact that I went from 0 to 3 in 6 months' time is kind of alarming. Anyway, I get to go on Thursday and get those filled, so that's gonna be fun. Inexpensive. Insurance won't cover all of it. Well, they might not cover any of it, I'm not sure. They sent me a statement, the insurance company did, over the weekend telling me that, yeah, we're covering everything except for this one x-ray. We didn't approve all of that cost, so $6.50 of that's going to be your responsibility. Like, really? Why? Just why? Yes, I got an extra x-ray done to rule out any kind of root damage on a side tooth there because of the issue I was having with pressure, feeling pressure. So, anyway, it's $6, I guess. It's not the end of the world. Just irritating because well, that's about what I spend on the vending machines at work every day. Anyway, I'm going to bed. Sorry this one sucked. There's a bunch of me whining and then a bunch of me whining about a dream. So, anyway. Talk to you later.